The midterm elections that will decide the balance of power in Washington are getting closer and closer. And Republican hopes of taking back Congress in November, well, they just got a bit of a boost. A new Quinnipiac poll finds that President Biden's approval took a nosedive in a key demographic, Hispanic Americans. Get this, it's down from 55% to just 26% over the course of 1 year. But Nancy Pelosi, oh, she's in la-la land. She's dismissing concerns about a red wave.
So I have absolutely no intention of the Democrats not winning the House in November. I think that in terms of the work that this president has done, and he's been a great president. I don't know about polls, but I do know about winning the races one district at a time.
Emily, she doesn't know about polls, but here on Outnumbered, we do. She has no intention of handing over the gavel, but she will. Let's set aside the polls for a second. We'll get there. Turnout in these 10 primaries that have happened has been enormous. At times, Republicans hitting 60% of voter turnout, breaking records in some states. In one state, it was actually edging to 2020 numbers. You never have midterms where turnout looks like a presidential election, Emily.
That's right. Speaker for now, Pelosi, can live in fantasy land all she wants. But sorry, sister, that red wave is not only coming, it has already started. So as you mentioned, Kaylee, in the 10 states that have already held their primaries, Republicans have accounted for fully 60% of the votes cast. And overall turnout in those 10 states was up 21% from 2018, which was already a record high year. And of that 21% increase, Republican turnout made up 38% of that increase. So it is absolutely coming. Democratic turnout numerically has totaled just under 5 million votes. Republican over 7.5 million. And what viewers need to remember, too, is this is against the backdrop of 32 House Democrats who have already resigned or who have announced that they're not running for re-election. Again, the most since 1992. So she can keep living in her delusional land. But I think the rest of the Democrats in the House, and certainly the rest of us, know exactly what's coming.
Yeah, speaking of delusional, Jimmy, take a look at Jill Biden. Here's how she thinks she'll win back those Hispanic voters, which, as a fact of life, are gone.
Thank you for your warm hospitality and welcome. I am honored to be here in this beautiful capital today. And on behalf of my husband and the people of the United States, Buenas tardes.
Nailed it.
Oh, that's so embarrassing. It's a little bit of a flex by Jill Biden because Jill Biden speaks 3 languages. She speaks Spanish, English, and Joe, which is oftentimes very difficult to translate. The reason they're losing so much support with minority voters is why they're losing support with everybody, is that the Democratic Party is not prioritizing what the rest of us prioritize. They're yelling about ultra MAGA, mega MAGA, I can't believe it's not MAGA. You know, they're yelling about climate change. They're yelling about eat the rich. Okay, people who migrate to this country don't come here to have prosperity demonized. They come here because they aspire to prosperity. And you can't tell Latino voters they're oppressed because they fled real oppression, food insecurity, cartel violence. The stuff we, count as oppression in the United States is laughable to the rest of the world. We're the rich kids with the biggest house on the block whining about how hard it is, while the people down the block, that have nothing are like, do you believe the nerve of these people? But that's who the Democrats are. They're so out of touch with everybody else that they think their priorities are ours, and they're going to get smoked. And I'm here for it, girlfriend.
And I have even more proof of that smoking, Jimmy. Jill Biden, she may need to learn how to speak Democrat, despite being a Democrat herself. It's not good with her own party. Take a look at this. Associated Press, lowest approval rating yet for Joe Biden at 39%, down from 63%. But this is the part that's interesting, Kennedy. Overall, only about 2 in 10 adults say the U.S. is heading in the right direction or the economy is good, down from about 3 in 10 a month earlier. Those drops were concentrated among Democrats, with just 33% of Joe Biden's own party saying the country is headed in the right direction, down from 49% in April. That's a massive drop in 1 month among his party.
Yeah, I don't understand what Nancy Pelosi's talking about. She's like, I don't understand the polls, but I will tell you,
The president's doing a great job.
It's like, he's not. He's doing a horrible job. You know, we just talked about immigration. You have inflation, the war in Ukraine, you've got the baby formula crisis, and now immigration on top of all of that. And at least two of those affect people every single day. Even if they don't live in border states, they're seeing the images and they're like, this is not what I voted for. And the problem is here, yes, you have support among Hispanics and Democrats creating, but it's also independents looking at this landscape going, this is not the America I want to live in. Because to Jimmy's point, when you can't find baby formula, that is like a third world country.
Yeah.
That's right. And Julie, you know, President Trump, the one thing that never happened with him, you didn't see him lose support among Republicans ever. It stayed steady around 90, high 80%. Biden has always been at 82%. Michelle, I'm sorry, 82% among Democrats. Sorry, it's I can barely see here on my remote.
You're forgetting names because you're talking about Joe Biden, and now you're becoming him. You're mixing up names.
You know what?
I'm becoming him, Michelle. But basically, it moved from 82% to 73% among Democrats. That's a big drop.
My sister's name is Julie, so I'll answer on her behalf.
There you go.
I am not into identity politics, so when we say Hispanics feel this way versus, however, I come from an Hispanic family. I know what my dad and mom wanted for us when I was growing up, and they wanted public safety. They wanted a great education. They wanted a good economy. And my dad always preached to me, you live in the greatest country in the world. Right now, Dad, rest in peace. You're probably turning over in your grave because this country is not the way you left it. And I just think in general, the popularity of this president is dipping so low. I want to know who those people are that think we're going in the right direction, where they live and what they're taking.